Hello and welcome to a new Google Sheets video in Practical Sheets. Today we do the part 3 of the personal finance system in Google Sheets. Today I'm going to include two things. First, I'm going to include an evolution dashboard where I can see how my expenses have been evolving over time in a total basis and segregated by category. And then we're going to include income because in the last parts we just included expenses. So now we're going to include income. Not only that, but we're going to include it in our dashboard report. So I can see how much did I earn or did I receive each month. I can see the detail of the incomes of this month, and I could relate it to my expenses, knowing how much of my income did I spend each month. I know you love it. I hope you do. But before starting, I invite you to subscribe to the channel or subscribe to my Patreon page where you'll find all the codes, all the templates, all the videos in the channel. Hope to see you there. If not, let's continue to today's video. So let's start. What we're going to do today first, let's summarize a bit what we've been doing in the last two videos. So basically we built from scratch an expenses database where I could easily add new expenses with an amount, a date, a description. I have some categories, then I have the month and the year. Then I did a dashboard where I could select the month and the year and automatically bring me the total spent segregated by category. And I could see easily here, for example, I see here hobbies 426, so I can go here to hobbies and it will show me in what did I spend. Okay, so there are a lot of things we can improve in this. One major thing I want to include is, for example, I would like to see a monthly evolution of my expenses. Here is nice because I can see month by month, but what if I want to see how my expenses have evolved over time? Do I spend more? Do I spend less? Maybe I spend more in the total, but by category, maybe I'm spending more in groceries. I don't know, something like that. So what we could do, maybe in a separate sheet, I think it's better. We could call this evolution dashboard or growth dashboard or something like that. And we're going to build this with pivot tables. It's a bit easier. So I'm going to take my expenses, select all of them, select insert and go to pivot table. I'm going to create this in an existing sheet, which is this evolution dashboard. Hit OK, create. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to see just the total spent by month. So I could go to amount, put amount in my values. This is the total amount. There are a couple of ways we can do it. We can use this year, for example, here in rows, and then this month here below. What is the problem with this? That if you remember, we did this month with a text function. The problem with this text function is that when I want to sort it, it will sort by alphabetical order. So August will come before July. And the reality is that July comes before August. So one way we could improve this is instead of year and month, we will put directly the date. Here we'll go to right click and select here year and month. So now I have it ordered by month and I can see my real expenses, my evolution of my expenses. I'm going to remove this 0. It's pretty easy. We just go to filters, select any of my columns. It may be date, and then I say I'm going to filter by a condition, and the condition is that the date is not empty. I'm going to click OK, and that's it. I remove this 0. In order to test this out a bit more, I'm going to include more expenses. So I'm just going here to create a filter. I'm going to sort by first by the date and then by the description. And for example, here, this credit card, I'm going to put it in much more months. Okay, this is 2021. This may be enough for now. So now I have it here. Can remove this, and now I have a nice evolution of my expenses. The thing is that this will maybe in the future be very long and it may not tell me much. So a thing I would prefer to do is leave this just as the month. So I'm going to here and create pivot date group. I'm going to change it to month. The problem with this is, for example, here I see very big, but it's because it's adding up July of 2021 and 2022. So the other thing I could do is put this date again here, right click again, create pivot date group, and now it will be the year. So I have my year and my month. It's much better segregated, but it will be much better if I put this year in the columns. I still don't have in the channel pivot table videos, but I could put in the future if you like. I'm going to change this just to remove the format. I could remove the grand total here from the month, from the year, and now I have a nice looking table where I can easily see how my 2021 evolved, how my 2022 is evolving, and how it compares to 2021, and the total of years, how 2022 is looking versus 2021. Okay, so this is what I want, an evolution of expenses. The next thing I can do is now let's look at the evolution of the categories. So I'm going to do another pivot table. I may just copy this one and copy here and paste it here. And I'm going to change it a bit. I'm going to remove the year, remove the month. I'm just going to leave the amount. And I'm going to bring the category to the rows. And the date to my columns. I'm going to right click again. And now I could do what I did before, that was year/month or year-month. And now it will be easy for me to see, well, relatively easy for me to see how, again, this format is a pain. Now, so I have here my general view, and then I have here my more detailed view, when I can see what has happened internally with my categories, what has gone up, what has gone down. I could even go further and maybe filter by, this is a new thing, really new, that before I could, if I hit on a table, it will automatically put this sidebar, that it was very annoying when you have a lot of pivot tables. So now I just hit edit, and this is a really nice little detail where Sheets is trying to win our hearts again. Okay, so what I can do is do another filter here. I'm going to add a filter, and I can filter the year, and let's say that the year is only going to be 2022. Okay, again, this, I could remove this formatting, and I could see the year I want. So I can see the evolution of my 2022. So this is the first thing I wanted to do, have another dashboard where I could easily see how my expenses have been evolving over time. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to include income. So this is nice expenses, but now I want to compare it to my income. So what I'm going to do is to add a new sheet, and it's going to be called income or revenues, or however you want to call it. It will be very similar to these expenses. So I'm just going to copy this here. I could have duplicated the sheet, and it would have been easier. No problem. Then I'll put the date again, the amount, it remains, the description, again, it works. The category may be a bit different. For now, we're going to remove category. and just leave the month and the year. That's it. I could remove all this, and let's just do a couple of tests. So let's see my dashboard, my evolution dashboard. We started in July 2021. So let's say that in July 2021, my income was 3,000. And then I'm going down with that. In August, it was 3,000. I also had some Uber, I don't know. And let's just put it this way. Okay, so now I have my incomes from salary and from Uber. That's it. Very simple. We could complicate this with categories and all that, but now I think this works really nice. What I want to do, and the main reason for this video, is to improve my dashboard, including income. So what I could do is insert a couple of rows here, and I could copy this here, and total revenue or received, and it will be very similar because I'm going to do a SUMIFS. Let's do it from scratch if you want. So let's do a SUMIFS. So first we need the sum range. So I'm going to sum this B column with the condition that the year, semicolon, equals to this 2021. So I could change it and it will change automatically. And then the month here in this D column will be, or will equal to, this month. That's it. Hit enter and that's it. And if I go to another month, it will change. Let's go here to September 2021. Let's go to August 2022 or July 2022, and it will reflect accordingly. Okay. Additionally, from this, I could do a really small percentage of how much of my income have I spent. So here I could put how much did I or have I spent. It's just a percentage. I divide this by this. And that's it. Here it's 18%. But if I go, for example, to June 2021, I think, no, July 2021, it's much more. And the last thing we could do is to a nice looking bar where I can see my progress or how much have I spent of my income. For this, I'm going to include a function, a really nice Google Sheets function called SPARKLINE, which does a small graph in my cell. So the data I'm going to graph is this spend value. And here the SPARKLINE, if you've never used it before, it's a bit different from what you're used to. I'm going to use these brackets, and the first thing I'm going to put some arguments. If you are used to programming, then this is okay for you. So I'm going to write the argument chart type, and then I'm going to write a comma, and then I'm going to say that the chart type will be bar. Then I'll put semicolon. Then I will say that the maximum value, because if I put it just like this and hit enter, let's close my parentheses, it will put just a bar, but it doesn't say anything. I need to compare it with something. In order to compare it with something, I need to add this new argument called max. And this max will be my income or my received. Now I hit enter, and now it says something. Maybe I could put some borders, so that is a little bit more telling. And if I change, this will change accordingly. So now it's really nice because it's giving me some insight, relating my expenses with my income. Okay, I could change this color if I like. Here I could put another argument that it will be color 1, and I could just write a basic name of a color, for example, red or green, red. Or I could go look for an hexadecimal color. Here, the first thing that appears, you can choose a nice looking color, and then you can copy it here with the pound sign, and then you just paste it in quotation marks. You paste it here, and then you can put the color you like. Let's change this color to a darker green, and that's it. Okay, so now it's looking nicer. The final thing I could do, as I detailed here my expenses, I could also detail my income. So I'm going to give a bit of zoom out. I'm going to include a couple of new columns. And what I could do is something similar to what I did here. I'm going to do a query or a filter function, whichever both. I could do a filter just to see how my income is separated, or it's grouped by. Okay, I don't need all this, I just need and the amount. And here I will say I will do a filter of my income, and I will filter by the year. It's very similar to what we did with the SUMIFS. The year must be equal to this, and the month must be equal to this. Okay, let's hit enter, and now I can see all my details. But given that I only need the amount and the description, I can just say I don't want to filter from A to E, but just from B to C. That's it. And here I have the amount and the description for this month. I'm going to put some color here, some format, and this is it. Finally, I could put some titles so that it's a bit more easy to read. So this is expenses by category, detail expenses, and here it will be detailed revenue, something like that. And I could put this in a darker blue. Maybe this will be in a lighter blue. For example, here, when I did this, maybe I don't need the month and the year and the category of the expenses, because if I'm looking at hobbies, well, then I know that the category is hobbies or loan. So I don't need the category, I don't need the month, I don't need the year. So here in my filter, I could say that A, not to F, but to A, B, C, D, to D, to C. Okay, so just the date, the amount, and the description. And I could delete these columns, and it makes my dashboard a bit leaner. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the same darker blue, because we're talking also about expenses. But this revenue, I could put it in a different color because we're talking about income. So income could be in a dark yellow. I don't know. I'm not that good at formatting. And this, I could put it in a lighter yellow. The same here, I could put it in a lighter blue. Okay, so now I start to code by color to know that everything in blue will be expenses and everything in yellow will be income. So here, the same here, I could put yellow here and expenses in blue. And here I could put my border also in yellow. Okay, so this is it. I also could include the income here in this evolution dashboard if I like. So I could go here, include a couple of columns, and do a pivot table, but from my income. So I'll stand in any cell of my income table. I'll go to insert, pivot table, and I'm going to insert it in the existing sheet, that is this evolution dashboard here. I'll do OK, I'll create it, and I'm just going to do it similar to what we did here. So just the values, the amount here, then I'm going to bring the date, then I'm going to create a date group that is called month, then I'm going to bring the date again, and right click again and create pivot date group, but this time will be year, And the year, I'm going to move it to my columns. I'm going to remove the total of my year, and that's it. Now it's very easy to compare here my income to my outcome. Here I don't have December, but this is the only difference, okay? And I could include a new row here, and here I could say income evolution or revenue evolution, and here expense evolution. And I could put the same yellow I'm using for my incomes and the same blue I'm using for my expenses. Nice, it looks better a bit. I could remove my grid lines here also if I like, to make it see it a bit cleaner. I could remove some rows from below. And now I have my dashboard where I include expenses and I include my income. Okay, so I hope you like it. And we're just missing to maybe put some budget. Well, actually we're missing a lot more. We could include things like mortgage and debt forecasting and all that, and investment and whatever. But for a basic personal finance, I think we're doing okay. Just let me know if you like it, and if you like it, you can subscribe to the channel, and better yet, you can subscribe to my Patreon page, where you'll find the latest template. Just so you can download all that I did here and just adapt it to your needs. Thank you so much. See you next time.